Weka Lock Tuliza Stress is a program by Rose Wandaki, a mental health pioneer in Kenya, who is providing mental health awareness sessions to local schools in Busia. Her organization, FIDS, discourages suicidal killings in school-going children. Take a look. Nice to have you here on the Upclose with Nakato show.
Thank you.
Yeah, so our viewers love to know who is Rose Wandaki?
Rose Wandaki is a mental health champion. Rose Wandaki is a director and founder of a community-based organization by the name Friendly Innovative Development Solutions, FIDS. It's based in Busia County, Teso South Sub-County, and we focus on mental health, discouraging suicide killings, early marriage, early teenage pregnancy, gender-based violence as a way of fighting our challenges.
When I hear the word FIDS, I'm intrigued to know what was the inspiration behind FIDS?
I've been a victim, not as a person, but as a family. I used to stay with my aunt and I saw what she went through. She went through gender-based violence. And she was so depressed. At some point, she even wanted to end her life by throwing herself into the borehole. But because of me, she survived because I used to stay with her. Because of the gender-based violence she was undergoing, I would raise the alarm by just making calls to the children to save her. She was going through gender-based violence, which was being caused by the husband.
So, growing up, how were you able to manage these mental health challenges after witnessing your auntie going through this?
Because I could not even gather some sleep at night, that means I didn't have enough rest. I was so worried, and I was so negative about issues of marriage. I never felt like getting married because that was exactly what, as much as I saw my aunt, even my neighbor was passing through the same, the neighbor to my aunt, because every time during the evening in the area we knew that there is a free cinema. I just got married, and when I got married I also had to experience some and I was like, okay, is this how marriage behaves, you know? And though I'm not out of the marriage yet, I'm still in the marriage, but okay, mine is not something that is so deep, but of course every marriage has got challenges. But now my aunt's one was so deep, and I wouldn't want mine to be so deep to that extent, and that's why I got out of my house to talk about mental health, because I knew there are people who are passing through that the same way my aunt was passing through, but they are not able to talk about it. Me, something that has really helped me is that because I talk about it, when I get out to talk about it, I also talk about it in the house.
So we would also love to know, what does FIDS do? What is it handling? And we've also witnessed a session. You've had an outreach with the primary school students. What does FIDS do, and what was that taking place?
As you know, mental health cuts across. My focus so much on women and youths and teenage mothers. And what we do in our organization, we run different programs like advocacy like the one we have done in school. Under advocacy, we have programs like Weka Lock Tuliza Stress. Weka Lock Tuliza Stress is a Swahili word, and it's just like how can we prevent stress by Weka Lock. I don't know how you understand by the word lock.
Lock is locking.
Yes, you lock so that you are able to reduce stress. If you don't lock, then it means that you are most likely to engage into stress. So the best way is to Weka Lock Tuliza Stress. So we do that in enclosed spaces like children's homes, prisons. We also go to prisons. Then we have it even in high schools and in primary school. So we do awareness at a tender age, so that these children are able to grow, knowing that whenever they grow, there is always challenges. Yeah, so we also have economic empowerment, where we do what we call table banking with women in our office. We have over 100 women. We encourage them through table banking. These women pass through a lot. Most of them are housewives, They have to wait for their husbands to come back in the evening to give them some coins to feed their children. But suppose they have their small coins in their pocket that they can buy vegetables and prepare meals. By the time their husband is back at home, they have already eaten. So they don't have to request money from them. We also have women who are infected with HIV. We do awareness. We tell them it's not the end of everything. We have to push, and also they have economic empowerment. Yes, and then we have a walk to a healthy mind. We do walks for sensitization. Once in a while, maybe once a month, we do sensitization. Yeah.
As you interact with these primary school students, what are the causes that bring them into committing suicide? Because mental health is very unheard of. It's not common, talking about it, especially in a primary school setting. What causes do they say that bring about it?
The poverty level is so high. You can find, for example, when we were in that school, I received a call that she has been following. The one who has been trying to call. There's a girl who is trying to attempt suicide, just not far from here. Yeah, she performed so well in class 8. She has to join Form 1. She has no school fees for that. So that is poverty. Another one, there is gender-based violence. A lot of children are being raped by their own parents, by their own close relatives, people we look up to, people we think they can take care of us. And then if they can turn to us, we lose hope. Because if I wanted to open up to my father, and this is the same father I need to open up to, is the one raping me, is the one sodomizing me, who do I go to talk to? Do I have to trust anyone else? So these children find that the only place they can find it's safest through the 6 feet underground, and they can only do that through suicide. So parents are so busy finding ways on how to feed their children. So they get out of the home very early in the morning, they come back very late in the evening. They don't know what the children have gone through. They find their children are already asleep. They wake up going back, the children are still asleep. By the time they wake up, they have a house help. Maybe that house help is the one who is mistreating them. They run into depression. They have nowhere to debrief. You find the young kids they have got phones, smartphones. They access everything. Peer pressure. As I said before, parents are not at home. Children have their own friends. We are not aware who are working with our children. By the time you realize, a child has just ended his life or her life. Like, I just want to give an example. One of the children, one boy at grade 6, ended his life by tying the pullover around the neck in the bedroom. In the bedroom, the home is fenced with the perimeter wall. No one can access, This child has been watching some things. He subscribed to some things on phones, which they had to agree without parents' knowledge. So by the time the parent was knowing, the son was already hanging, When it comes to mental health, it's a conversation. So personally, I believe the first thing we encourage them is to embrace themselves in whichever situation they are. Every situation they go through, let them go, at the end of the day, go and look at themselves in the mirror and say, despite the challenges that I'm going, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And God had a reason to why I was born,
It was on Wednesday afternoon when I went to play with my friends. So when I came back, I found my father at the lock. He had locked the gate. So I knocked and he opened for me. When I entered inside the house, he asked me, where did you come from? And I told him that I was playing. And he said, why did you want to play without my permission? And then I told him that, Dad, that is my child. It's a child right. I must play so that I can be here.
My life has been such a struggle since I was born. I used to have negativity to everyone who is around me. I used to feel lonely. Everyone who is around me, I felt like everyone was hating me, especially to the male genders. I used to hate them because I knew that they are bad people.
he took a cane and started caning me. So that made me to end up running away from our home. I slept away from home for 4 days.
Because there was my relative was a boy who raped me, and I never opened it to anyone. Now there was a day in class, there was a problem, and I was mentioned by mistake. Now that because it was a boy who mentioned me and the male teacher was the one who was caning the people, that thing really hurted me that I went to commit suicide. But luckily the teachers came and rescued me.
When I came back with somebody who I was sleeping in a home. So he talked to my father, but my father did not listen. My father ended up, he caned me. So when he came here to school, at the school, told the teachers, and the teachers consoled me, and I said, it's okay, I'll never repeat it again.
We have been following the work that you've been doing in the community for the few years you've been in existence. Are there some challenges you face in creating awareness on mental health in Busia?
The expectations. People think we are small angels. When someone sees me, he just smiles, you know. He just sees that maybe the problems are solved. But he or she doesn't know that I also have my own problems. You know, you get to listen to people until you are overwhelmed. But I thank God because we have psychologists who are in support for us. And then we also have financial constraints. We are not funded yet. And though we look forward to positive response, but some people come with financial challenge and they expect me to support them, you know, when I'm also facing the same challenge. So it's a bit tricky. Yes, when I started talking about stress and depression, suicide prevention, you know, I didn't get that positive response from even my own husband, you know. He was like, why are you going to do this? Can you do something better than this one? But I had that push to do it.
We have also witnessed some of the students share their experiences with fellow students. As FIDS and as Rose, what are some of your most memorable achievements that you look back and you're so proud about?
The memorable moment that I never forget, and I always thank God, because despite me being a social worker, not a psychologist, I have saved a life, so many lives. But there's this young man he was going to do away with his life because he thought it was the end of everything. But then when I talked to him, when he passed by the office as he was going to do away with his life with the rope in the pocket, he said that he was in tears and he told me his problems, what was disturbing her, and I shared with her. We shared ideas. I gave her some examples of people who are even HIV, like Mora, who is out to talk about it. So how unique is he, you know? I told him we can also start talking about it, you know, and he was very positive about it. And by the time he was coming out of that office, he confirmed to me that he's not going to commit suicide. He just gave me that rope to confirm to me that he was not going to do away with his life. And for me, I'm so happy with that. Just one smile per day, for me, I'm always comfortable. Just one smile. Others.
My friends out there, you should not take your life. Your life is so precious. You never know what God has planned for you out there. Life is so good.
So I just received a text right now, and someone is wondering whether psychologists, counselors, social workers, do you reach a point where you also feel like you are stuck? You listen to all these stories on a daily basis. What trick do you use to handle, to maintain your mental state?
Avoid some calls, especially those numbers that I don't know. When I'm not in my position, when I feel like my head is full, then I always go to unwind. I can go swim, I can go for an outing for myself. I create some time for myself. Sometimes I can just stay in the house. Whenever I get calls, I'm not around, but I'm just in the house. And then I have people who are very close to me. I just give an example. Father Victor has been my support system since I started FIDS. Actually, I studied in the church. In fact, they could pray for it. He has been my support system. I have Eric Neto, who is a psychologist. Yeah, so whenever I feel I'm overwhelmed, sometimes I call them. I do calls to my friends. I have so many friends. Yeah, I do calls for my friends, yeah. But it's not easy. I just want to say the truth, it's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy.
Personally and as an organization, what plans do you have for the next years to come?
I see FIDS very far because every year, I have success stories for every year. So I see FIDS very far, and I see Rose Wandaki as the driver who was meant to be the driver for FIDS. And I see Rose Wandaki, I compare Rose Wandaki with the Moses in the Bible, you know, the Moses in the Bible. But every time I go through any challenge, I see Moses. Moses is my motivation.
And what last remarks do you have for the young Kenyan girls and boys who are facing, mental health challenges? What advice do you give to them?
There's enough space in the sky for everybody to fly. That viewer who is watching me is a bird. Can you just get out of that comfort zone and fly? The level at which you will fly depends on you. People will put you down, but you have the power to rise. You have the power to be put down by somebody. It's up to you to make a choice. Whether you want to fly high or never to fly. I would like the government of Kenya to come into mental health. Our generation is being swept away. Our generation is being swept away, and if we don't do anything at the grassroots level, then I don't know, maybe Vision 2030 we shall not have the young people. Yeah. Or for those who would like to support or reach us, you can reach us through social media, Friendly Innovative Development Solutions, or Rose Wandaki. Or you can search Rose Wandaki. Through Rose Wandaki you will get FIDS. And then you can also reach us through our website, www.fids.ke.org. You can reach out through +254 7 11 53 21 57.
Thank you so much, Rose Wandaki, for this beautiful session. Upclose with Nakato is proudly sponsored by Vice Versa Global. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Vice Versa Global. And until next time, bye-bye.